All right, so it's been a while since I've done a video. My sister was actually visiting this last week, and so I haven't posted any videos. And I've been having a few technical issues. I would have done a video right before she was here, but I was having some technical issues, which I'll talk about in a minute. But today, what I'm going to do is a little more thorough rundown of my gear as it stands right now. I'm still tweaking things a little bit. About a few weeks ago, I did a video talking about my big three and where I stood with those. But now I'm going to do a little more complete rundown of all the things that I'm going to be packing with me. I've got a few extra things here. I'm still sort of like deciding, between a few items. So I've got pretty much almost everything out here that I will probably take on my trip. So real quickly, since I've already talked about my big three, let me go over that again real quickly here. And as I mentioned before with my big three, I do intend to be hiking my own hike, and I'm going to be taking the Nemo Hornet one-person tent. I think this is a really good tent for me. Not necessarily the best tent for other people. I've seen some criticism of this tent, online. The main thing is that it's a kind of small. But hey, guess what? I'm a small guy. So that really makes it even better for me. It's perfect for my size. But they've also criticized the little vestibule that there is outside for you to put your gear outside, and it is kind of small, but I found that I can easily fit my backpack up under it without any problem. And if I needed to, there's actually enough room inside the tent for me and all of my gear if I chose to do so down by my foot, because I'm short. So I have a few extra inches down at the end of my tent where I could put my whole backpack and everything in there. So this will be a good tent. Yes, I know I could go lighter. I could go with a tent that uses my trekking poles rather than the poles that are in the tent here. But I decided that the comfort that extra comfort that I get with by having a rainfly on it more than makes up for a few extra ounces that I'm carrying with having my poles in here. And another criticism, and I haven't had the opportunity to actually be out in a real heavy rain in these things, but I'm told that the fabric doesn't hold up extremely well in a heavy rain, tends to stretch a little bit. But I think that that's something that I ought to be able to deal with. But I will indeed be seeing some rain on the Appalachian Trail, so we'll see how that goes during my actual hike. So there's my tent, my Nemo, and I am indeed hiking my own hike with that. Now, the thing that I may change, and I mentioned this last night, this is my good old trustworthy Kelty sleeping bag that I've had, I'm thinking, for possibly over a decade. I've taken this on the Inca Trail, up Mount Kilimanjaro, and all over the place on lots of different hikes on my shakedown hike that I did at Eagle Rock Loop. And now my shakedown on Eagle Rock Loop, the temperature did drop down into the 20s. And this is rated 20 degrees Fahrenheit comfort rating for this thing. But I noticed on that trip on the Eagle Rock Loop that night that it got down so cold, I'm not too sure if I would call that a comfort rating or not. I was a bit chilly, but I'm thinking that that's because I have a tendency to store this in the bag that it's in right now. And I'm thinking that I don't know if it's because it's been stored in this for so long, or that it's just that's such an old sleeping bag that I think the down in it has gotten compacted, and when the down gets compacted like that, it doesn't do as good a job insulating. So actually, for the last I don't know, several weeks, I've actually had it out of the bag and hanging so that the down can decompress a little bit. And I think I will probably start the trail with this. But if I notice that that it's not really insulating the way I want, and I'm expecting colder weather, then and I have an opportunity to upgrade it on the trail somewhere, I might do that. And you know, if I see something come up online or an REI or something that I might be a good replacement for, but between now and then, I might. So this one's a little bit questionable, but this is my good old sling bag that I've taken lots of places, and I think I'm inclined to take it on the Appalachian Trail with me, or at least start with it. So, and then if it does get a little cold, I also have this cocoon, this mummy, cocoon mummy liner that I can use, which will keep me a little bit warmer. It's not silk, so a silk liner would probably offer me a little more insulation, but not bad. Okay, so there's my sleeping system. I also have this pillow, inflatable pillow. It's a cocoon brand, I believe, also. And I may or may not take this. I'm you still the jury's still out on this. I may or not bring it. Now. As far as my cushion, I have just recently upgraded this Nemo cushion, and it's here my previous cushion is right here. This is what I've used in the past, and you can see it's much takes up a lot more space. It's got a lot of padding in it, but it also inflates. This one has a bit of I'm not sure if it's really padding in there, but it's some insulation. But it inflates to actually 3 inches. And believe it or not, this one actually has a much higher R rating than this one. So I think this was a good upgrade for me. So that will be my sleeping pad. Now, okay, so that concludes. Well, no, I didn't talk about the biggest thing is my backpack, which I don't have here right now. I have been, if you've been watching my previous videos the whole way on the Camino de Santiago and my various shakedown hikes, you've seen that I've been wearing a Granite Gear Crown 3 60-liter backpack. And that's much more than I need. I don't need 60 liters for sure. But it's been a good backpack for me. And the thing that I liked about that is that the brain can come off, and you can use it as a nice, really large fanny pack. If you've watched my Camino videos, and you'll see that pack that I had all kinds of stuff in there, that fanny pack on the front, which was actually the brain for my Granite Gear backpack. But I have upgraded to a Hyperlight Junction 40-liter backpack, which I think will actually serve me much better on the Appalachian Trail. So, all right. So now I've covered my big 3. So now let's get on to more detail what's going to be in that backpack. And we'll start with my apparel, I guess. And as far as like cold weather gear, and here again, I'm not going to be bringing all this. These are some of the things for the cold weather that I am contemplating. And I will be bringing these. These are icebreaker thermal long thermal underwear, which on cold nights I plan on. I'll get on that. So in addition to my sleeping bag and my mummy liner, I'll also have these, and I should be able to stay pretty warm. And another reason why I think I'm probably going to stay with my Kelty backpack, because I also have this option to keep myself warm a little bit. I sleep a little bit warm, especially my feet. My feet always get hot, so a lot of people talk about bringing extra socks and stuff for their feet. Not me. And in fact, one of the reasons I like that Kelty backpack is that you can unzip it from down by the feet, and I can actually stick my feet out if my torso is still a little chilly, but my feet are getting hot. That's one of the things that I like about that Kelty backpack. Okay, but these I will definitely be taking. Now I'm deciding. This is an icebreaker top. Okay, like this, and it's nice, keeps me warm. It's an icebreaker. It's good, so it's good insulation. However, I have, I took this, I'm not sure if I took it on Kilimanjaro, but I know for certain that I took this when I hiked the Inca Trail, because I got some photos of myself wearing it while hiking, actually. But this one actually has a little hood, and it's, I'm not sure if it's as well insulated as the icebreaker or not, but it is fairly well insulated. So I think rather than this icebreaker top, I'm probably going to be bringing this. This is Adlo brand. I don't know. And yeah, I think that's probably the way I'm going to go as far as keeping my myself warm if it gets cold. And here again, that might just be for when I'm sleeping at night. But you know, who knows? If I hit some really cold weather in the Smokies, I could wear this stuff actually while I'm hiking if it's extremely cold. So I do have that option. Okay, now for probably my everyday shirt. And if you watched my really just about any of because I've worn this on my shakedown hikes, but this was my go-to hiking shirt on the Camino de Santiago. So almost every day I wore this shirt, and I will have this shirt for a long time. It's a nice, dry fit kind of material, cool and lightweight. And I've worn it, when I'm out, running for exercise. I love this shirt. If you're a Seinfeld fan, this is sort of like my golden boy. If you've watched Seinfeld, you younger kids may not be familiar with that. But Seinfeld had an episode where he had his favorite T-shirt that he called Golden Boy. Anyway, get on track. This is just my favorite shirt, and it dries quickly, lightweight, and so I will be taking this. Now, I want to have something to hike in that's not a heavily insulated, in case I need to have a long sleeves. And so I have this. This is another dry fit, long sleeve shirt. That sometimes I'll if it's a little cold out in the mornings, if I'm out for a run and I want something a little bit more than the short sleeve there, I can wear this, and so that's a nice option. Now, for I do have another long sleeve shirt that's a little bit heavier and a little more insulated. This one right here. I don't know. I think I probably, so here again, I'm hard pressed between my two long sleeves. This one, if I need a little more insulation, a little more warmth, this one will give it to me. But I think since I have my other, stuff for sleeping that I can use if it gets a little cold outside, I think that will be enough. So I probably will not take this. Okay. So, but that's my option. I can decide between these two. And then as far as pants, I'm wearing jeans right now. I'm definitely not going to be wearing blue jeans on the trail. So I have these pants here. I think one of them I probably got from REI or someplace. This actually is a Field and Stream, but I've got a bunch of pants like these. So these may not be the ones that I will take, and I think I probably will bring two of them just in case. But what's nice about these, they're the zippers, so you can take them off and you can turn them into shorts if you want, and they are fairly lightweight. So I think this one here is an REI brand, and like I said, this is a Field and Stream, but I've got a couple of other pairs that are other brands. So I think I probably will bring two pair, not necessarily these two pair, but these two pair, and then underwear. I'll probably bring a couple of pair of underwear. This one is just like a Fruit of the Loom now, but I got some other ones that I actually like better that are a Saucony brand. But I'll probably a couple of these really light type briefs that I'll wear. Okay, so now we'll come back to this. So I've got a variety of socks, smart wool, stuff like that. Even though I've got 4 pair of socks down here right now, I definitely won't be bringing any more than 3 pairs of socks with me. And then, if they wear out and I need to replace them, I can do that. And then my shoes, these are Topos. I think the model is Ultra Adventure Topos. These are great shoes. Nice wide toe box. I wore these. These do already have a few miles on them, but less than 100. So I will probably start the trail in these. I'm anticipating that I'll have to replace my shoes at least twice, maybe 3 times on the trail. But I don't wear through shoes like a lot of other people do. I don't know why, but I could get a lot more miles out of my shoes than the average person. So anyway, these Topos, I wore these basically the only time I've really worn them on a trail is on my shakedown hike at Eagle Rock Loop, and they served me well. There was a lot of water crossings on that one. These things got soaked, but they dry quickly because they're trail runners, running shoes. They're not hiking boots. They're running shoes, and so they're designed to wick moisture away, and so consequently they dry quickly when they do get wet. They did a good job for me when I was hiking the Eagle Rock Loop through a lot of water crossings. So I'll start the trail with those. And I've worn lots of different shoes. And in fact, the shoes I've got on right now, these Carlos are trail shoes that I wore the whole time on the Camino de Santiago, and I went all the way to Finisterre. So I probably just on the Camino, that's nearly 600 miles, I think, at least 550 when you consider my trek to Finisterre as well. So I'm probably well over 700 miles on these things right now, and they're still quite comfy, and they don't show a lot of wear, but that's enough miles that I don't want to start the trail with those. Okay, so and then as far as camp shoes. This is what I took on the Camino de Santiago. I got these. These are, I guess, Reef brand, and I got these at REI, and these are fairly comfy. If I'm not wearing socks, these straps tend to rub my feet a little bit, and I don't necessarily like them, and they're not the most comfortable. But if I wear socks, they're nice, but I don't think I'm going to take these on the trail. I might get something different. Now, I also have these water shoes. It's a body glove that I've worn when I've been, doing other water things. And these actually are quite comfortable. So right now, I'm leaning towards not bringing these and not necessarily buying anything else, and maybe using these for my camp shoe because they are, pretty comfortable to walk around in. And then they would also be handy if I'm doing a water crossing and don't want to get these things socked if it's early in the day and I know I got a lot of miles ahead of me. Then I might take the time to take these off and put these on. So I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do. Almost certainly these are not going to be going, and pretty good chance these are going to be the camp shoes that I will use that will also serve me well if I'm fording a river. So, and then I got a buff here, and actually a couple of bandanas. I probably won't take any bandanas with me, but I've got a buff here that I'll probably bring. I might bring one bandana, but definitely not two. This one seems to be a little bit lighter, so maybe this is what I'll take. So, and then as far as rain gear. All right, I've got these two options right now. Somewhere I had some frog dogs, but I don't think I'm going to do the frog dogs. I think this is probably for sure what I'll be taking. This is a backpacker poncho, falls out of here. And the nice thing about this, it does a pretty good job, deflecting the rain. It keeps me fairly dry. But the nice thing about having a poncho like this is that it will also go over my backpack and be a little added protection for my backpack as well. I will be putting a liner in my backpack. In fact, when I was talking about my backpack, I didn't mention that, but here's the liner for my backpack that I have. I've got a couple of replacements here, some new ones. Although this one's still pretty good, I'll probably start the trail with this and maybe take one of these just in case. Liners will keep my backpack running. But this poncho, almost certainly I'll be taking. Now, I also have this so-called waterproof jacket, but in a heavy rain and it's coming down, this is probably not going to do a great job. I think it also has a hood on it. Let me open this thing up just to, it's very lightweight and compressed down to takes up hardly any space at all. But let me see. I'm pretty certain it has a hood. So this actually would be more useful as a windbreaker, or something like that. While I'm at camp or sitting around afterwards, just to add a little maybe extra warmth or windbreaker, and not so much, even though it is water resistant. I've taken this. In fact, I think I took this on the Camino. but I've taken this other places. Oh, I know where I remember I used this a lot when I was in the Galapagos Islands. I could do some little day hikes and stuff like that. And it's good. Doesn't really take up much space. It's very lightweight. So I may bring both of these. The jury's still out on that. We'll see. Okay, and then hats. I definitely need, especially on a sunny day, I need to wear a hat. In fact, you see me in a lot of videos wearing my AT cap here. Although I think the cap that I'm going to bring actually is going to be this one. So I think my beloved AT cap is probably going to stay and not go on the trail. But this is the reason I like this cap is that it gives me a little more protection from the sun with the rims and everything. But if I've got a head net, if I'm around a lot of bugs and mosquitoes and stuff like that, I can put the head net on, and this hat does a pretty good job of keeping that net just well distributed around my head. So it's probably going to be this hat and then this head net when I get to later in the year and start seeing lots of bugs and mosquitoes. And then gloves. These are a pair of running gloves that I've used when running whenever it's gotten really cold, and they're nice. These are some gloves that I took on Kilimanjaro. I'm not really sure why I even have those out here, because I think this is a lot more than I'm going to need, and so I'm probably not going to take these. I probably will take these, and what's nice is they're actual gloves, so I can use my fingers if I need to use my fingers. In fact, I think there's a little. Are these the ones that have the little thing? So if I need to get my index finger out to use my phone or something. No, not necessarily. Okay, so but they have the individual fingers, and then if it gets really cold, I can turn them into little mittens, and I can take my fingers and put them in to get a little extra warmth, and they come like mittens as well. And I think they're not as well insulated for sure as these other gloves. And if it gets really cold in the Smokies or whatever, you never know what it's going to be like on Mount Katahdin. My hands might be kind of cold, but I think that will at least prevent me from getting frostbite, hopefully. So, all right, let's move on. I talked about that. Let's move over here. And, my puppy coat. I do have a puppy coat that I'll be taking. This is coat epoxy. It's got a picture of a little llama or something on there. And it's just your basic puppy coat, which I don't think I'll be wearing much. In fact, it'll probably be on cold nights sitting around the campfire or something like that. If I'm wearing that, I probably won't be wearing this much hiking unless, here in the Smokies, if it gets really cold. The problem is that it's down, and and if it's cold and rainy, I don't want to be wearing it because it's not effective in the rain. So, and then my trekking poles right here too. These are my Black Diamond trekking poles. Okay, so moving on to my food and water. Here's my bear bag right here. Got a bear bag for hanging. I guess there's portions of the trail where that will not suffice. They will require me to use a canister, and so I'll be doing some research on that. Whether or not maybe it makes sense for me just to forego the bear bag and just use a canister the whole way, but that's extra weight and takes up space. I'm not really sure. I got to be doing more research on what's the best way to handle that for those sessions that actually require a bear canister. But I got my bear bag here, my little rock bag for hanging it and all that. And this is a bunch of stuff left over from previous hikes. I got some meals here that these days almost never expire, so they're still good. I will probably not be eating a lot of this stuff on the trail for a number of reasons. One reason is in recent years, I've been trying to eat more healthy. In a previous video, I talked about that as being what I consider one of my keys to success, just having a healthy diet and to prepare myself for the trail. The problem is on the trail, it's a lot harder to eat healthy, so my options will be limited. And so since I had these, I'll probably take off with these and use these the first 3 days on the trail, and then be doing resupply, basically. I'm not going to have any food shipped to me, although that would be helpful in terms of making sure I can find healthier food if I actually get my food beforehand and have it shipped to me. But the logistics of doing all that, you know, I'm not sure if I just would really even want to deal with that or have that's one more thing I need to think about. Am I going to be, you know, at the place I need to be to pick up a resupply, and can I count on the resupply being there and all of that stuff? I think that's one way I can simplify my hike a little bit, give me a little bit less to worry about, is like not doing resupplies. Now, these are lightweight. They're dehydrated, so they're lightweight. They're I'm sure they're probably healthier than a lot of the myopsis I might have on the trail, but they're not necessarily that healthy. But they're really convenient. You can just open them up, you know, heat up your water, pour it in there, and wait about 20 minutes or so, and then give it a stir, and they're good to go. But this is not the least expensive way. Some of these things, I think, you know, you pay $15 or more for a packet of these things, so they're not the most economical. But I think I'm going to be relying mostly on when I get in town. Hopefully there'll be a place there that has some food that's, you know, a little healthy. I'll try to avoid the Snicker bars and all that, and not too much ramen. And try to get other things that are a little bit more healthy for me. The problem for that, things that are going to be a little bit healthy may not last as long on the trail. I might not be able to use, buy some healthy food that I can consume within the first day or two, and then, you know, some less healthier food if I'm going to be out there for 3, 4, or 5 days before my next resupply, and have to do it that way. So that means probably more beef jerky than Snicker bars and stuff like that. So yeah, and then as far as my water, I'll use the Sawyer water filter, and I think I will probably just get a couple of smart bottles, one for dirty water, one for filtered water, and do that. I've been contemplating getting a collapsible bottle. I may or may not do that. I'm not sure. I'm definitely gonna have to at least replace the filter on this thing, because this got frozen when I did the Eagle Rock Loop on that night. That got so cold I didn't bring it into the tent and sleep with it. So when I got up in the morning and looked out in the vestibule, the water in my water bottle was frozen, and so the water in the filter got frozen, and so probably cracked the filter. So I'll at least have to replace the filter. I might just replace the whole thing. Who knows? We'll see. And then I do have, this is considered a luxury, but I do have this collapsible cup, which would be nice to put some coffee or cocoa in it, if I decide I want to have some coffee in the morning, something like that. And speaking of that, I have these down here. All right, if you've been watching almost any of the videos about hiking and the AT, they talked about Element. Okay, well, I'm going to give you the lowdown on it. I am not monetized. I'm actually getting very close. I only need another 100 and maybe 150 subscribers, and I actually could monetize here real soon. So like and subscribe, and maybe I will be monetized. But I'm not monetized in any way. I don't have any sponsors. Element has not sponsored me, so there is no link down below where you can go and get your package from them. But I will tell you about it. All the other videos, will tell you, how great they are, and they are good. Okay, has none of the bad stuff in it. So I've told you before that I'm really wanting to stay healthy, and this is the way to do it. It doesn't have any of the bad stuff in there. No artificial colorings, no sugar, stuff like that. It's just the basic stuff you need: sodium, potassium, magnesium, stuff like that. And in the other videos, they'll tell you how delicious they are. Well, they're not bad, but frankly, there are other electrolyte drinks out there that have some of the bad stuff in them, mainly sugar and stuff like that. And those taste pretty good. And these, I wouldn't say necessarily taste any better. Most of them taste okay, but I'll tell you, the main thing is when you're replacing those electrolytes, it's mainly the sodium or the salt, and so almost all of them have a bit of a salty taste to them. That doesn't necessarily mean they taste bad. But you can definitely tell you're getting your sodium in there when you drink them. And they're not bad. And there's different flavors, and they do taste pretty good. A lot of them have a little kind of a little spicy kick to them, which is I personally like that, and it's good. Now I'll tell you what I was first. When I first ordered them, I ordered 4 different flavors, 4 boxes with 4 different flavors, including I thought, oh, that chocolate salt, that sounds really good. So I ordered a bunch of that, and I poured it into the first time I poured it into one of my smart bottles with water in it, and and the water was cold or lukewarm or something like that. I tasted it. I'm like, dang, that doesn't taste as good as I was hoping it would taste. So you're getting an honest assessment of element here. However, I eventually tried it in some warmer water, and in particular, if you have some coffee, if I bring a few instant coffee packets with it, and then you put this in there, and then I got some little packets of stevia that I might even bring some of that with me. If you put that into your coffee, the chocolate salt in with your a little bit of coffee, and then if you want it a little bit sweeter, you can put it in a little packet of stevia. Dang, that's like a nice little cup of hot cocoa, and it's pretty good. Yeah, there's an honest assessment of elk. Not that the young people aren't being honest, but they talk about how it tastes so wonderful. Well, yeah, it tastes good, and you can tolerate it. But the chocolate salt, I've got a feeling if you tried that just in some water, you might not like it. But if that's the case, don't decide you don't like Element. Try it in some warm water, and maybe even with some coffee, and it tastes a whole lot better. Okay, so I've almost talked about Element as much as the people that are getting paid to talk about it, but that's a little more objective assessment of Element. And then I've got my titanium spork here, and I also have a Sea to Summit little bottle opener, and then has a little spork on the end, this is so small, it takes up hardly any space and weight. I'll probably bring this too, although some people might say this was not necessary, but it'd be nice if I ever need to open a bottle, something like that. But I won't get rid of this, because if you're eating out of a bag like that, you need that extended handle in order to eat out of something like this. Okay, so is that yeah, actually I got a bag of nuts here left over from one of my previous hikes that I never opened, so I might as well start the trail with that, just so I have a snack right away. Now, and then I haven't talked about my cooking system here. I've got this MSR stove right here, and then I've got I'll be bringing a couple of big lighters, 2 just in case one. It's a bummer if all of a sudden one of them's not working and you don't have a replacement. So I will be bringing 2. I actually have a third one in here, but I'll only be bringing 2. And then here's something I saw online. I thought, hey, that might be handy. And this is a little thing that if you've got just a little bit of fuel left in one tank and you want to transfer it to another tank before you throw it away, you can actually connect 2 tanks and move the fuel from one tank into another, which can save you a little money. And then you can toss the second one. Now, I will not be bringing, in fact, I think this is empty anyway, it's really light. But even if it had fuel in it, I can't take it on the plane. So when I get to Atlanta, before I hit the trail, I'll have to replace this, maybe at the Welcome. I bet you they sell these at the Welcome Center. I'll check. I might just wait and get it there. But this is the canister. But the nice thing about this pot here is this is a Sea to Summit, probably. I don't know what it is. But you can it's titanium, and you can just drop the canister right in there like that, and then it fits your stove. The stove comes with a little thing to hold it in, but that would not fit in here, so I don't have that. I'll just put my stove in there, and then I can put my 2 big lighters in there, and even this thing right there. There's plenty of storage room, and there you go. So, all right. So as far as I think that pretty much covers as far as my meal preparations and water and stuff like that. Okay, so now let's go to my personal hygiene and health and stuff like that. I do have a little thing for my medical kits. and I'm going to have to go through and make sure I have everything I need in there. But I've got some ibuprofen probably and a few little bandages. But I've got probably the only thing from here that I actually used. Well, I think on the Camino de Santiago, I think I used some Aleve when I got a little pinch in my back for the first few days. But the only thing that I definitely used that found most useful were these little KT tape strips, because I never really got a blister on the Camino de Santiago, but I think I would have had I not had these, because as soon as I think it was in my left heel, I started to feel a little bit of a pinch in the heel, and before I let that develop into a blister, I put some KT tape on there, and that helped a lot. Now I also have this roll of KT tape right here. This is regular stuff that you use for other parts of your body. And I'm not going to be bringing this whole roll, but I probably will bring 3 individual strips like this, because if I ever do get a case of plantar fasciitis, it takes 3 of these strips to treat your plantar fasciitis, to tape your foot up for that. And I have had in the past, a couple of times in the past, I've gotten plantar fasciitis, and this is the best thing for my plantar fasciitis. So I'll probably take about 3 strips of these off of the roll and bring them along with me. And then another good thing to help prevent plantar fasciitis, or even treat it if you happen to get it, is a little roller ball with these little nubs that help increase the blood circulation in the rub. You can just sort of put it on the ground and rub your foot around like that on it, and to massage it and get the blood flowing, and help if you have plantar fasciitis, will help it heal a little bit quicker. And if you don't have it, just that massaging and everything can help prevent it. Okay, so now the rest of my, also I've got a little tick remover right here. So in case you get a ticks, that probably won't be late till later on in the hike when the weather warms up and when I'm dealing with mosquitoes and other bugs and ticks. So if I notice a tick on me, I'll get it off right away to hopefully I won't get any Lyme disease. Okay, here is something I will be replacing. This is my little shovel for digging cat holes, and I think I carried this on the Camino de Santiago, but never had an occasion to use it. But when on the Eagle Rock Loop, I definitely had occasions to use it. And that particular trail, I think it's probably a whole lot like the Appalachian Trail. And there were places on that trail where the ground was extremely hard and rocky. And this was really difficult to get, a hole as deep as they tell you to dig them. So I'll probably be replacing this with like a titanium one or something, and I'll go to REI, and once I get back to Dallas before I leave for Atlanta, and probably replace this. But you'll need some sort of shovel for digging your cat holes, and then of course you always want to have some TP with you. And I even have a little thing to put on my smart bottle, a little bit bidet thing that I've never used it. But in fact, I don't even know where it is. I mean, maybe I don't have one anymore. But I thought about trying one of those. Okay. Okay. I mentioned in a previous video that I will not be sawing my toothbrush in half. But I do have this collapsible toothbrush, so it won't take up quite as much space. I can just collapse it like that, and it won't take up a lot of space. So this is probably what I'll be using on the trail. Yeah, I know it's a lot of people like to cut their toothbrush in half and do that. I prefer not to do that. And then as far as my toothpaste, I've got these capsules, and they look like they're. I had a silicone thing in here, so they should have kept it dry, but it looks like some moisture's gotten in there, or maybe it's just that they're just crumbling and falling into little pieces. And I could use these, but I think I'm going to get some different ones, try a different brand, because frankly, these just didn't really taste that good. I didn't like the taste of these things. And so hopefully I'll find some tablets that taste a little better than these. And if not, I might just use some little crest things like this. But we'll see. So that's some stuff I'm still sort of tweaking. I'll get a few of these earplugs that I'll put into a plastic bag. and in case I'm in a hostel or a shelter where there's somebody snoring at night, I can put them in and help that. And then I occasionally I snore, especially if I've eaten too much or maybe had a few beers or something. I think I tend to snore a little bit more. And if I'm with somebody, I can offer these to them if I happen to be snoring. Okay, I've got a little body glide for chafing, and so I'll probably bring that. Although I don't think I needed. I might have. Oh yeah. You know what? I think on the Camino I did use this a little bit because I was getting a little chafing there around where my backpack was resting on my hips. So yeah, this can come in handy. So now, insect repellent. I got Permise in here that I'll be treating a lot of my stuff with to help with that. So this is not something I'll necessarily be packing with me. This is something I'll treat my stuff with before I go, and then maybe periodically retreat my stuff as needed on the trail. Same thing with this. I got some. This is some deep woods. Off deep woods, DEET and stuff for mosquitoes. But the first part of the trail, I'm not going to need this, so I'm not actually going to pack this. When it gets time for me, when I will need this, and when the bugs start coming out, the first resupply I come to, once it warms up enough where I have to worry about bugs, I'll get a thing of this to bring with me. Now, I probably won't bring this, but I think I saw this online, tea tree oil. And supposedly that helps repel bugs. I don't know if I'll bring this with me or not, because frankly, the only time would be using a bar of soap is if I was in I keep wanting to say albergues, but a hostel along the way, or possibly even a hotel. So I think I probably won't bring this. Now I got these things too. These are insect repellents, but bug repellent. That they're little stickers. I got a feeling these are probably not that effective, but they don't weigh hardly anything. So maybe I might try these out. We'll see. Okay, so that pretty much covers it all. And then I got these. These are my prescription brand sunglasses. I don't really think I will need them as much on the AT, at least definitely not in the early part, as I will on others. These are prescriptions, but they're kind of old, and I need a new prescription. But I do have these sunglasses, and yeah, I do. As you can see, I wear glasses. So regular sunglasses, I'm sacrificing my vision to get to wear those. So, but I do have these that are prescription, and I'll probably bring them. And the bad thing about sunglasses is you lose them all the time. And I've been really careful with these because they're expensive since they're prescription. But if something happened to these on the trail, they're old anyway, and it won't be a big loss. So now, I think the only thing I haven't talked about so far is my electronic equipment. So let's walk right over there. Okay, so now here's where I've got a few concerns. Well, I've got my Garmin InReach, and yeah, I'll bring it. Although I'm on the AT, I'm really kind of feeling like I don't really need it, but and that's fine until you do need it. So I think I probably will bring that. And then here's I didn't mention this earlier. I got a little utility knife. That's a scissors and knife thing. So I can use these as scissors, like that. And then I got some blades in here. And this is really small, lightweight. So I'll probably bring this in case I need something like this. So I got that as well. Now, my electrical devices, I got this Night 4 headlamp that I can use. It's rechargeable. And I also have, for when I'm in my tent, it's a lot easier. I got this as a little LED light that actually got these little legs on it that you can attach it to just about anything you want, which is really convenient. But I like to just stick it, my Nemo Hornet tent has a little pocket up in the roof, and I can just stick it up there. It's a nice little light for the whole tent. So I got that. Now, my other stuff. Since I do plan to vlog on the trail, this stuff is a lot more important. And my power bank is this Nightcore 10,000 mega amp charger. And I'm kind of wondering, since I'm going to be using both my phone and my Insta360 camera here, and then I've got these headphones that need to be charged, and you can only charge two things at once: one through the C port, and one through the A port of the USB A and USB C ports right here. You charge it through the C port, but you can the output will work from either one. So I can charge two things at a time, but only two things at a time. And plus, you know, I'm not too sure how much, when I do the editing of my videos, that uses a lot of energy. And if I'm going to be out for 5 or 6 days, possibly, I'm wondering if this will suffice. So I'm thinking about getting another and having two of these. Fortunately, this is the smallest 10,000 megahertz power bank out there that you can get, and lightest. It's lighter than most as well. So I may get a second one of these. We'll see. All right, so there's that. And then I mentioned my Insta360 camera. I'm recording now on my iPhone. Now, usually this is what I prefer because it gives me a lot more options of controlling the video when I use this. However, last week this is why I didn't post my last video last week, was that I went out and recorded a little video, and when I got back in, one of the problems with this is that there's actually more editing phases you go through before you actually export this to my iPhone. You do some editing in terms of if it's on the 360 setting, you have to edit the direction and stuff like that, zooming in, zooming out of the direction for your video, actually while it's still on, the file is still on the camera here, and then you export it to your, in my case, my iPhone. And the problem was, last week, for some reason or another, when I transferred the video to my iPhone, the audio and video were out of sync. And that was problematic. In fact, I spent a long time trying to fix that. I was never able to really do it successfully enough that I felt comfortable enough uploading it. I know my videos are bad enough just because I'm still learning how to do the audio and things like that. So I didn't want to upload another technically bad video for you guys to suffer through. So, and then as I started this one, it was doing the same thing. So that's why I'm recording on my iPhone right now. But this one, the audio, especially if you're out in a windy area or if you're in someplace with really bad acoustics, the audio is not good on this. But I've got this external mic that I can actually hook right on to the side here. Oops, I've got it upside down. That's why it didn't fit. Put it right there, and then I can clip this mic right here. So it's a Wi-Fi kind of deal that connects them, Bluetooth or whatever, and the audio is a lot better. The problem is that audio just has not been syncing lately. When I start my editing, it's when I do my first edit on that's on where the file is still on the Insta360, the audio and the video is fine. It's only once I transfer it to the iPhone that when I play it back on the iPhone, the audio and video are out of sync. So I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting on that. I don't know if it's maybe that this is just malfunction. I need to buy a new one or something. I have had this for a while, through the years. And so I don't know. I got to figure out what to do with this. But this is what I plan to be taking. Those of you that haven't watched my videos, and a lot of times you're wondering, you don't see a selfie stick and it looks like somebody's there actually taking my video. It's because of this camera right here. So it's really neat. Okay. And then once I'm editing, I use LumaFusion editing software. And so when I'm editing, if I'm in a hostel or around other people, and I don't want them to disturb them, I'll use my Aftershock headphones so that they don't hear the audio of the videos that I'm editing. So I've got these Aftershocks that I will use. I don't really listen to music. Occasionally, I think there are a couple of days on the Camino when I decided, maybe I'll listen to a little music, but I can listen to some music with these two if I want. But it's mainly just for when I'm doing my editing around other people that I don't want to disturb them. And then, of course, you need to bring it up. In this case, it's got its own charging cable. So this is dedicated, this cable right here is dedicated just for this. But the others will use other types of USB cables, either usually a USB-C cable to charge them. Well, in the case of my iPhone, it's got, as you know, iPhones, again, they have their own type charging device. So does that, and then this is the selfie stick for the Insta360. And then if you notice, when I've done my other videos, you'll see me, and it sort of looks like I'm just sort of holding my hand in a funny position, but you never see the selfie stick itself. And then if you don't see my hand, you don't even see that. So it looks like somebody's walking alongside me doing my video. The only time you can really detect the selfie stick is if I have a shadow, and then you can see the shadow of the selfie stick in there. Now, one more thing that I'm still kind of deciding on. This is a nice little tripod right here, and it collapses up into hardly any little space, and a little bit space at all, and it's lightweight. And you do this, and then I can put my selfie stick or something else in there. The problem is that, once I get my selfie stick up and then the weight of the camera, this is not very stable at all. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to want to fall over, especially if you get a little bit of a breeze. So this, I think I'm not going to, I took this on the Camino de Santiago, never really used it much. And if you're just going to put your iPhone in it, set it up on something like that and put your camera on it like that, it works fine. But if you're going to extend a selfie stick on it, not so much. So I have this, and this is a lot more, with these legs, you can twist them around and tie them around the branches of trees and stuff like that, and do all kinds of stuff like that. So I have a lot more options, and because I can get a wider base on this, it's a lot more stable than that if I'm just sort of using my, if I'm connecting my selfie stick to it and trying to get it up and using it as an actual tripod. This offers a little more stability. You still have to, be careful with this, but this one will probably be more successful. So I probably will bring this. It's a lot bigger, a little bit heavier. It's not that heavy actually. It's pretty light, but it will take up more space. So, but I'll probably be taking this one and not that one. Okay, and then I've got. This is a little, since I won't be taking my granite gear where I can use the brain as a nice big fanny pack. I do have this one right here, which is made up of that really lightweight material, and it has a separate pocket here in the front, and then on the inside it has another pocket, that you can open up and keep things separated in there. And then actually within that pocket, there's yet another pocket where you can put, something important, a key or something. So there's lots of different sources. The only thing I don't like about this, especially compared to that nice big granite here, grain that I had up on me before, there's not a lot of room in this one. So it would be great if I could find something just like this, but about twice the size would be great. But I will be bringing some sort of fanny pack with me. And then, so I've got also a few bags like this. So I'll get all this stuff organized in just a few bags like this. I got this from REI, and separate my toiletries from, maybe some of my other things, and just to keep them organized. Get a small one for my electric gear, and so 2 or 3 of these things at the most will be used to keep things organized. So I think that's about it. So if you got any questions, and in fact, if you think I'm making a big mistake with something, well, I am hiking my own hike, but you know what? You might have a better idea, and maybe it might be a good idea for me to think about the way you're hiking your hike. So feel free to leave comments about if you think I'm doing something wrong, or if there's something that I've missed. And inevitably, there's something I probably haven't mentioned on here that I probably should have. Oh, hand sanitizer. I don't think I have any hand sanitizer out here. So something like that I've left out. Let me know. Leave it in the comments. And in the meantime, happy trails.